major arterial road in Western Sydney. Tens and tens of thousands of commuters go backwards and forwards on this road every day. And thousands of them would be motorsport fans who would have no idea what this grey structure is behind me and what its significance is. Before it was today's trendy grey, it used to be red brick, and it was the commentary tower for Berkshire Park Speedway that used to be here. There was a greyhound track, and inside it was a speedway track, which is where we believe that fender benders were born. There was a fight here eventually between competitors. One of them got stabbed with a barbecue fork. The police broke up the fight and closed the track. 500 metres up the road, this tower is the second motor racing facility that used to be in this location. And it is really significant. A young English guy emigrated from England out to Australia, probably as a $2 pom. He bought himself an Austin 7 little car, and one day he came driving out along Richmond Road, which back then, well, this was the end of the world out here. And as he's driving along Richmond Road in his Austin 7, he looks out and he sees the dust coming from the cars racing behind this Airfield service station at the Marsden Park Airfield. He goes in, talks to the guys racing cars, and this is where his interest in motorsport began. That guy's name was Ron Torinac, and he went on to be Jack Brabham's race engineer and build and design triple World F1 Championship winning cars. And right behind this Airfield service station on Marsden Airfield, this is where Ron Turinac's motor racing career began.
raced these tracks. Easy to read, very large font. The most comprehensive and lavishly colour illustrated work on this subject ever.
I'm at Wayland Reserve in Western Sydney, and this used to be the Mount Druitt airstrip, which backed up the Richmond Air Base during the Second World War, about 20 kilometres away. And in 1948, after the Second World War, racing began here. Initially, they just ran a hot dog layout, going up and down the concrete strip with a loop at either end. And then in 1952, a neighbour, Belf Jones, added his land to the circuit, taking it out to 3.6 kilometres. The newly formed Australian Racing Drivers Club ran this place, and they held 25 meetings over the next 5 years. The place was hugely popular. They almost always got at least 15,000 people. There's a lot of room, you could wander freely and see the track, and the railway station to Sydney was in walking distance, so it's hugely popular. These days the track has been swallowed by the industrial area and residential development down the end. So although this road goes round, the track used to go much further, almost as much again, to the east.
Foaming rapids to roaring engines, a motorcycle Grand Prix at Mount Druitt, New South Wales. And when you're burning up the track, this is what it looks like from an exhaust pipe angle. Speeds of well over 100 miles an hour on the straight, and first man home is Harry Hinton, a top rider down under.
Where the circuit was the airstrip, it was a concrete surface, including the top corner here. The rest of it was dirt, soaked in oil and packed down hard. Not an ideal surface if they put a little bit too much oil on, or you got a little bit of rain the day before. All the big names in Australian motor racing of the 50s raced here, including a very young Jack Brabham. In 1954, they held a 24-hour enduro here, which tore the dirt surface to pieces, and it was won by a team in an XJ120, which included Bill Pitt. in 1958, the neighbour, Belf Jones, got into a big argument with the ARDC and CAMS, almost definitely about the value of the lease of his land, now that they were getting huge crowds here every race meeting. And so, in defiance, he got his backhoe out and he dug a trench right across his boundary, and I believe you can still see parts of that trench down there at that tree line where the reserve end and the Belf Jones property used to start. As you walk along the boundary of Belf Jones's property and the ARDC's leased airstrip, you can still today see the very large trench that Belf Jones dug here, which cut the track in two. And after he did that, no big meetings were really held here. They just reverted to using the airstrip, and it was pretty boring. Other circuits were coming online. And then in 1970, the New South Wales Speedways Act came into effect, and so the place had to close permanently.